Hey, I'm Randy, and you're watching The Cheap Audio Man. Here at The Cheap Audio Man, we talk about high-value hi-fi and home theater and headphones. And today we're talking about the AKG K361s. Are these the best budget closed-back headphones you can get? Yes, they are, in my opinion. But if you want to find out why, then grab a cup of coffee, sit down, and let's talk about the AKG K361s. Today's sponsor is Sith Audio batteries. They're audiophile batteries. They're $20 a piece. You get them in pairs, or you can get them in packs of 4. They're $20 a piece, and they're guaranteed to make your remote control sound audiophile remote control, because you have clean audiophile grade power from batteries. Sith Audio batteries. All right, the AKG K361. They're a closed back headphone, and they have nice ear pads. They have nice ear pads that come with it. Anyway, they're made out of plastic. They have a nice headband right here, very nice cushion. It's very well built. It's kind of rubbery cushion, but it's well done. And it pivots like this. Pivot, so you can make it fit your head kind of however you want to. And then they move around a little bit. They also have a removable 3.5 millimeter cable. So this locks in, I'm assuming if you're using these to do some monitoring or some recording, they lock in and they're not going anywhere. It's a very long cord that it comes with, but it's a very nice cord. So if you need a shorter cord, get another 3.5 millimeter cord and use it. It does have a recess inside right there. So if you're getting an aftermarket cord, you're going to want to make sure that it's not too thick. Otherwise, it's not going to fit in there. So the K361 is $105 right now. It is a closed back headphone, which means it's not supposed to leak sound all over the place. So they're good when you're in bed with your wife, so she doesn't get mad at you when you're listening to music in the bedroom on headphones. The pads. I really like the pads. They're very soft. I don't think they're memory foam. I don't know. I haven't really pulled them off. But they're very soft, supple. And this feels like vegan leather made from cows that only eat grass. That would be real leather. Now, these are nice. I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure this is the fake pleather leather. Vegan leather. One can change the ear pads if they're so inclined, but I really like these. And sometimes headphones will push, my ear will touch the inside of the driver, and I don't care for that. But these, it did not. So they're perfect. It's a perfect ear pad size for me. So I tested this with two DACs. That's kind of a cool name. Two DACs audio. It'd be a cool name, two DACs. If they made like two DACs. If they made three DACs, then they'd have to call it three DACs audio. So anyway, the Hi-Diz S9 Pro and the Dragonfly Red. This DAC's like $120. This DAC is $200. Both good DACs, but they sound different. Now, if one is going to use their iPhone or an iPad, you're going to need one of these. And what is it? It's a camera adapter. It looks like a USB adapter, but it's really not. It's a camera adapter. You got to get the right one for your iOS devices. For whatever reason, this is the one you want. Just a regular lightning to USB is not going to work. You need a lightning to camera adapter. And then you get a USB-C adapter, put it in there, and then you get your S9 Pro from Hi-Diz and you put it in there. And then you take your 3.5 millimeter jack and you put it in there. This one also has a 2.5 millimeter jack for balanced headphones. If you're using the Dragonfly Red, you do all that same stuff, except you don't need these two. You just stick it in like that. The Dragonfly Red. Okay, so they're built well. They have a really long cord that if you don't need the long cord, just loop it up and put a twisty tie around it. You can always make a long cord shorter, but you can never make a short cord longer. So, or just buy another aftermarket 3.5 millimeter cable for the perfect length for you. They sound great. Their frequency response is very similar to the Harman curve, and the Harman curve is the frequency response that most people enjoy. Some people call it the perfect headphone response. That's what Harman, they did a whole bunch of research and they interviewed people and they tested them, and that's what they came up with, the curve. So this, the AKG K361, has a very similar frequency response, but it just doesn't end there. One of the cool things about this so this headphone's always been special, and I've had it for a long time. And I've toyed around with doing a review on it, and I didn't do a review, and I just listened to them for a long time. Initially, when I got them, I didn't particularly care for them because I didn't think they had much bass. But either the ear pads kind of broke in and they got a really good seal, or my brain burned in. Either way, the bass came in, and I really, really enjoy them. I really enjoy them right now. One of the cool things about this headphone, though, and it's a little bit of magic. So there's a little bit of magic in this headphone, and I could never quite figure out what it was. And it actually happened today, and that's the reason why I'm doing this review today, because I just figured it out, or I think I figured it out. So I put these on. My wife was watching NCIS. It's a fun program. It's on Netflix. You watch all the seasons. It follows the lives and adventures of the Naval Criminal Investigative Services, starring Mark Harmon, who incidentally was the quarterback for USC for a while, long time ago. Anyway, so I put these on, getting ready to play music through them, and I heard what's going on with NCIS in the background. I put them on, and I could still hear a little bit of the background. Not only could I hear a little bit of the background, but it was spacious inside. So it wasn't all of the background. So however they designed this with these ear pads, there's something going on that adds to the soundstage. And that's where the magic was with me. A big soundstage, maybe some reverberation that was going on. All of it translates into an immersive musical experience. Thank you, NCIS. All right, let's talk about some specific songs. So, What's Up Danger? It is off the Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack. What's Up? It's a hip-hop song, one could call, and it's got very strong bass. And one thing about bassy headphones, or headphones that have a bump in the bass, is sometimes that bass or mid-bass can bleed over in the mid-range and then make it not detailed. And I don't like that. Cool thing here is these handled the bass well. They're not super far extended. So, Narcissistic Cannibal by Korn, at the 1 minute mark, there's a doo-doo, a very low frequency. I don't know, it's probably in the maybe high 20s. Couldn't hear it on this. But that's okay, because you can't really hear it on any headphones. The only way you can hear that is if you have a really good subwoofer. Sometimes a really, 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 really good bookshelf speaker. Anyway, sorry, went off on a bird walk there. The S9 Pros have great, quick, powerful bass when the song is powerful. Gives you what the song gives you, which is pretty cool. Not bloated, not overly done. Very good bass. This is a dynamic driver too, so no planars or anything like that. Dynamic driver, which has a tendency to do quite well on bass extension. But as far as bass punch, did a good job on that song as well. Now, with that song, the vocals can get a little bit harsh, but that harshness I don't think has much to do with the headphones as it has to do with the DACs, because when I'm listening to the Dragonfly Red, I don't hear that vocal harshness. When I'm listening to the S9 Pro, sometimes I hear a little bit of edge in the vocals, a little bit of intense upper mid-range. So What by Miles Davis off of the Kind of Blue record. There's a ride cymbal, but I don't think it's anyway. Ride cymbal way far right, and these put it way far right. Very good treble reproduction without seeming harsh or brief. It just sounded like someone was hitting a ride cymbal. Not only hitting a ride cymbal way far to the right, which I like. Then the trumpet comes in, bop, and it was kind of jarring, startling. It was really apparent, but yet the trumpet didn't seem harsh. It seemed very well done. It was airy in the recording, to the point where you can almost hear the inhale before the trumpet player, which was probably Miles Davis, before he belted out a trumpet note. Treble's really good here. You could hear the delicate vibrato, even when they're holding the note on the trumpet is just very good, very airy, very divided. So all the instruments were definitively divided. I wouldn't consider these fatiguing, but with the S9 Pro, they can walk the line right before fatigue, but they don't quite get you there, but they walk the line. But very detailed without being fatiguing, even with a very revealing DAC. The Dragonfly Red, you're not going to hear that. It's going to be nice. You're not going to hear as much detail through the Red, but you're not going to have to worry about any fatigue at all. Speaking of fatigue, let's talk about sibilance. Sibilance is when you hear a recording and you hear the S's and the t like that. The track that I use is Uninvited by Alanis Morissette off the MTV Unplugged record. That track is recorded a bit sibilant. So if you have sibilant headphones, and that happens in the treble region, so if the treble region is not really done as well as it could possibly have been done, you could hear a bit of shiblunch. Cool thing was, even with the S9 Pro, Alanis wasn't really all that sibilant. When she goes uninvited, there was a bit of t there with these. But again, I think that has more to do with the DAC than it does the actual headphones. A lot of times when you get a lot of detail, you also get some sibilance. Here, you get a lot of detail, just ever so slight sibilance. Again, though, choose your DAC wisely, and you probably won't get that. Policy of Truth by Depeche Mode. Anyway, the beginning of that song, it just came on random, and I was like jarred because of how wide it is. Most of the time with closed back headphones, you don't get a super wide soundstage. Not with these, not with the AKG K361s, you get a very nice soundstage. One of the reasons why I like these so much is because one gets a soundstage that rivals some open backs. In a closed back headphone, and you're not bothering the people next to you or hearing everything going on around you when you have the K361s. Good for gaming, good for movies, good for when you're lying in bed with your wife and she doesn't want to hear your music. Hurt by Johnny Cash. This is the song that I use to see how forward mid-range vocals are, because Johnny is recorded a bit in front of the band. Maybe not a bit, maybe quite a bit in front of the band. If you have a very forward speaker, or if you have a very forward headphone, he's going to feel like he's right in your face, and you can smell his gingivitis, because I'm sure, I don't even know if he was in the room right in front of you and breathing on you, you could probably smell it if you have a very forward headphone. Good news is, these aren't super forward. They're not recessed either. They're right where they should be, and Johnny Cash was right where he should be, or where I imagine he's supposed to be, because I wasn't at the recording. I didn't actually see where he was, or talk to the sound engineer to find out where they wanted him to be on the track. Bass is good, it's tight. Mid-range is good, not too forward. A little bit of sibilance. Treble is detailed, believable, airy, very, very, very good. Things can get a bit jumbled up in the upper mid-range and treble on very complex tracks. One of the tracks that I use is One by Metallica off of S&M 2 with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra. You know, when they get really into that song, that part, orchestra comes in, it gets very, very busy. These things kind of melded together with these in the upper treble. But at the price, I wasn't expecting that these were going to be absolutely perfect, the best headphones I've ever heard, because they're $105. Cool thing about these headphones is that they sound an awful like the Focal, like the Focal Elysias, which is a $900 headphone that's been discontinued. Sometimes you can still find them for $500 new. Even if it's $500, that's 5 times the price of these, and they sound awful similar. I think the Focals do a better job of soundstage. They do a better job of soundstage. In imaging, maybe, but at 5 times or 9 times the price, get these. The AKG K361s at $105 could be your first and last closed back headphone that you need. They do everything well. If you want more of a U-shaped headphone, you're probably going to want to look at maybe the Bear Dynamic 17.7X, but those are $450. If you want something that's a little bit more laid back, I'd look at the Meze 99 Classics. They're great. You can get those for $300. I think Drop has a version for $200. I'll link them all in the description if you'd like to take a look at them. But for middle of the road headphone, this is really, in my opinion, unbeatable. I also compared these to the Audio-Technica, very, very popular closed back monitor, the Audio-Technica ATH-50X. Most people know what those are if they're into headphones at all, and they were just flat out harsh in comparison to the AKG K361s. Highly recommended, $105. You can't go wrong. Give them an opportunity, at least for the ear pads to break in and for your brain to burn in to the frequency response, and I don't think you can go wrong with them. So if you want to support the channel, you can sign up for Patreon, patreon.com/cheapaudioman. Every Sunday night we have Patreon-only Zooms. We also have a Patreon-only Facebook group. You can also sign up for Amazon Music. Click on the link in the description, sign up. You get 3 or 4 months for free, maybe some Disney Plus for free, and I get a couple of dollars. If you buy these through the links or any of the other links in the description, those are affiliate links, which means I get a small commission. You don't get charged anymore. I'll get a small commission if you purchase these headphones through my links. So don't binge watch anything on Netflix or Hulu. Binge listen through your AKG K361s and fill your soul with happiness. With that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man.